Well, let's fast forward to today. And, first of all, what's changed? And secondly, with the success that you've had both in front of the camera and behind the camera, I mean, do you feel like you have the creative freedom now to be a part of that solution to accelerate some of that change if things are changing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, are things changing? Yes. Uh, what those things are that are changing. It's not everything that needs to be changing that's changing. I think we can look to television, which is now a whole new beast and animal in and of itself, because what television is today is different from what it was 5 years ago, and much less 10 or 15 years ago, where yes, probably by sheer count, there are more Latinx faces on television, whatever television means anymore, today than there were 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. But there's so much to consider in terms of what are the versions of the stories being told about our community? Who's telling those stories? Who is the process empowering in it? Because oftentimes, sure, the package can look great. It's brown faces on TV, brown faces making it, brown faces behind the camera, but the process is defined by the minutia, by the moment to moment power dynamics of who actually gets to decide, the line that's said, the wardrobe that's worn, the attitude a character gets to take, how authentic it ends up at the end of the day, and how reflective it is of our authentic, true stories is not just about putting the right person in the seat. It's how empowered is that person to actually tell the story that they set out to tell. And for me, that is what I'm most interested in. I've spent 20 years in front of the camera and a number of years as a producer and a director behind the camera, and feel like what I care about is honing in on and identifying, here is the moment where we have an opportunity to shift who holds the power to make the decision, and then to just notice what happens in those moments. What's unspoken, what's assumed, what takes precedent, what notes are given and given again and given again. And at the end of the day, are decisions being made that are about keeping a certain system comfortable, or is there real power for new kinds of decision makers to change it in the moment that it matters the most? And that's what I'm really, really interested in at this stage of my producing and just creative career.
So we're quickly running out of time, but I just wanted to get this one question. It's, so what's your message to the next generation of Latinas, given, you're talking about power dynamics, you're talking about systems. What message can you send to Latinos who want their voices heard in the entertainment industry?
Yeah. Here's what I'll say. I think my advice to myself at all times and to others is community. What I'll tell you, what is shifting is that 20 years ago, I did not have other Latinas in the room. I didn't have relationships to other Latinas in the industry. I didn't have Latina mentors. I didn't have Latina friends, co-workers, co-conspirators. I was often the only woman, the only Latina, the only young person, the only actress in the room raising my voice to represent a certain perspective. And what's happening and what I've seen shift in recent years in the industry is the Latinx creative community finding one another, doing away with the notion that we are each other's competition, and instead deciding that we will be each other's best collaborators and best supporters. And that is a real shift that I have witnessed throughout my career. And I see how it's changing things on a very real level. Even, the new Dear Hollywood initiative that was just launched through the Untitled Latinx Project. The Untitled Latinx Project is a group of Latina showrunners who came together just to like compare notes. And it cannot be understated what the power of that is, the power of having access to and relationship and community with the other people in your industry who are having the exact same experience, being the only ones in their rooms, right? And so it's the community of it is incredibly empowering. And so my advice would be find community, find partners, find co-conspirators, and don't do it alone.